You know, that's the average age of exposure right now.
Yeah. Yeah,
It is.
Matt Chandler was telling me on Thursday because we were reading a book called Fighting Shadows, and like we have like a men's group with him, and we just went through the chapter on lust, and
Yeah.
he was talking about the author was saying that was his first exposure, and I was like, man, it's crazy. I was reading my
that's
story.
the average age of exposure is 8 years old, and it's not just for boys. It's the average age of exposure for boys and girls is 8 years old.
Yeah.
And one of the ways that they get there is by going to, if you're watching us online, you could in particular go to this site. You could even be looking at the kids version of this that you think like, oh, I've got it in kids mode, I'm super protected. And there are people that sneak stuff past this that is so vulgar.
Yep.
Which is why it's so important for us to know what our kids are watching. The very first time somebody explained all of that to me, this wasn't visual exposure. Visual exposure was somewhere between like 7 and 8 at my granddad's auto shop.
Yeah.
There was a guy who had a calendar.
Yep.
That was just, and I remember walking past it and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, what is that?
What's going on?
Yeah. But the very first time somebody explained it to me, I was 6 years old. And it was a very graphic explanation, and I can tell you everything about where I was and how shocked I was by it.
Yep.
So, like, yeah, your kids will be exposed to it sometime, but it doesn't have to be at that age.
No.
And there's no, and that's not to say that it still can't happen, right?
Where were you? So you were at your grandpa's shop?
I was at my grandpa's shop the first time I saw the calendar.
Yeah.
Right. When all of that stuff got explained to me, I was with my cousin. We were talking about stuff that we had, and this is why I lead directly to that. We were talking about stuff that we had learned at school. He had just had, he was in like 5th or 6th grade. They had just had the talk at school.
Yep.
And then I asked him a question and he was like, well, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Because he's like 10 or 11, has no discernment of his own.
Yep.
Right. I think he's like close to 50 now, still same place. Like no discernment.
Yep.
But he just explained it to me at 6. So like, yeah, you're not going to be able to protect them from all of those kinds of things, but you could have control over that. I was so ashamed of that.